Howdy guys, welcome back to Urban Odyssey. This video is going to be the vocabulary for Project Soulcatcher, the reading that I've been doing over the course of the last couple episodes, part 1, A, B, and C, for Dr. Robert Duncan's Project Soulcatcher. And so this intermediate pseudo part, it's not going to be a numbered part in the series, it's going to be the vocabulary words. And I'm going to read through those just because there's quite a few of them and it's not going to fit into, a part of the video. It needs its own video. So before I do that, what I would like to do is show everybody the dictionary, the Urban Lexicon of Human Husbandry. Let me put up the graphic for that really quickly. Yep, so that's the URL. That's a like a redirect. The raw URL is up in the top left corner, or you can access it through the direct.me/officialurban. That's my link page, and it's at the very top. And so that will bring you to this page right here. And this has currently 361 words or entries. 73 pages. This is fully mobile friendly, so you can use it on mobile device, and it has a nice and neat format. You can search. So let's see, that's going to be one of the words that we're going to look into. ALICE is an acronym, actually. Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. And some of them have images and links, but I haven't gotten around to updating all of that yet. I'm kind of doing that as I come across, or fixing things that need to be fixed, etc. So I just wanted to show everybody this. Please bookmark this, because it will always be up to date. When I update or add new words, it will automatically update. And this is going to be a project that I intend to continue for as long as possible. I've only been doing this for a couple of months, and already we've got 360 some entries. So, okay, let's get into the vocabulary for Project Soulcatcher, also computer hacking / biohacking parallels, along with some of the words and terms from the Internet Daemons episode. Okay, so let's get started. The first is ALICE. It's an acronym. Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity. This is a chatterbot program leveraging natural language processing and heuristic pattern matching rules designed to engage humans in conversation. ALICE is used to keep target minds hypnotized, brainwashed through repetition, aid in personality alterations, and direct the mind to dysfunction. Through exhibiting weaknesses, these flaws are mitigated by adding emotional response recognition and inciting conversation to keep the target interested. ALICE-type software automates and scales neurological behavioral control weapons and is employed in programs like Alice in Wonderland scripts for target confusion and discrediting. BRAIN, another acronym. Biometric Recognition and Identification Network. A generalized biorecognition system capable of running an incredible number of biosignature metrics for identification, including retina/eye patterns, fingerprints, voice prints, and brain signatures. BRAIN is a primary tool for tracking and identifying targets, enabling specific biological life forms to be found with high accuracy. Christ. It's an acronym. You know how they love to mock the sacred? Christ is an acronym, in this case, for Common Human Routines Inference Software Technology. This project serves as behavioral pattern prediction and classification software, utilizing a coveted database containing extensive personal information, including credit card purchases, travel and web browsing habits, phone and email speech prints, The Christ system provides total information awareness used to data mine for spies, dissidents, and specific behavioral patterns. The system is crucial for directed cultural evolution metrics and aids the Satan acronym system. EDOM, EDOM, an acronym, Electronic Dissolution of Memory, a CIA program name utilizing electromagnetic techniques to fade memories. EDOM involves exploiting the temporary window of opportunity during memory recall to alter or degrade long-term memory through suggestion, hypnosis, or the use of noise, a process sometimes misdiagnosed as false memory syndrome. It is closely related to RHIC. Gabriel. This is a code name for Global Communication Warfare Instruments. The U.S. Global Communication War Instrument often pointed towards large phased arrays like HARP. Gabriel is aptly named after the Archangel Gabriel, who serves as both messenger and angel of death in various religious texts. It presides over all that is powerful. This system delivers the voice of God weapon capability. MEDUSA, an acronym, Mob Excess Deterrent Using Silent Audio, a device that exploits the microwave audio effect to beam sounds directly into people's heads. It uses short microwave pulses to rapidly heat tissue, causing a shock wave inside the skull detectable by the ears. MEDUSA is intended for military or crowd control applications capable of producing sounds loud enough to cause discomfort or incapacitation, which cannot be blocked out. It is analogous to the concept of zombification, turning victims into internal mental turmoil. MIND, an acronym, Mentally Integrated Neuron Duplicator, a project focused on cognitive modeling and reverse engineering the brain to create a facsimile or duplicate of a human mind. The mind model is essentially an autocorrelated matrix of human brain signals. This acronym may also stand for Magnetically Integrated Neuron Duplicator, suggesting the use of extremely low frequency magnetic fluctuating and modulated fields for interfacing with human brains. And one note that I would like to just make everybody aware of, in almost all of these cases, you will find that the same acronym can mean roughly, sometimes it'll mean something slightly different, but sometimes, mind might have other meanings. That's a very common thing. And so there's not usually this acronym only means one thing. That's an obfuscation technique that's used to prevent people from being able to know this is going on. Because now you don't just have to learn a new word, you have to learn, in this case, 4 new words put together. Mind virus, or psychotronic viruses. These are scalable biocommunication weapons systems designed to hack and incapacitate a population's minds. A mind virus can spread from mind to mind upon contact. A malicious example is Satan 666, a scalable artificial intelligence psychotronic virus designed to run through all hacking methods to create maximum destruction, with its effectiveness rated and evolved through testing on human hosts. Psychotronic viruses attack the human mind using electronic signals either through the senses or directly into neural firing patterns. Operation Noah's Ark, a project preparing for a planned or unplanned cataclysmic event focused on downsizing the human race. It involves recording the DNA variances of all unique human, animal, and plant life, and then patenting it, alongside compressing all human intellect and uniqueness of mental processes. The implied motive is population control and creating a blueprint for a future race suggesting a new world order where humanity might become electronic entities. A second. That last image was to go with this one. Soulcatchers, the recording of the entire life. I think this is what is going under the Trump Freedom Ballroom, BAAL room. Just my guess. We do know that they are doing underground digging, and there's going to be a military installation down there. My idea is that perhaps you need a computer to upload yourself to, and you have to ensure that it can't be, destroyed. Technology related to recording and cataloging the entire life and consciousness of every human being, including their experiences and personality. This is information that can be stored for eternity in supercomputers, the geopsyche. The purpose is to potentially beam consciousness into another human, creating a remote control soldier, or to preserve life digitally. And the patent number there is here. Let's see if I can make it larger. My bad. Moment. Yep, there it is. Method of recording and saving of human soul for human immortality and the installation for it. There are many different examples of this type of technology. I'm not necessarily sure if it works, but a guy called Donald Marshall talks about REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, being instrumental in the transfer of consciousness. The next word is rehypothecation. Let me get myself straightened up over here. There we go. Yeah, rehypothecation. To pledge to another or to transfer to another a note or goods which have already been pledged, i.e., a broker may pledge securities pledged to him by a customer to finance his borrowings from a bank. The concept of hypothecation, or the pledging of property as security without surrendering possession, is tied directly to the supposed bankruptcy, which is now confirmed, of the sovereign entity and its subsequent enslavement of its citizens by private banking dynasties. Pretty much this is a legalistic word for stealing or fraud. RHIC, this is an acronym. Radio Hypnotic Intracerebral Control, the ability to induce a hypnotic state from remote locations via electromagnetic broadcasting, impart hypnotic commands, and erase the memory of the programming. RHIC uses precise timing of neural encodings to achieve individual targeting and control, often resulting in sleeper agents. The Satan system. We have mentioned this in the previous parts, but this is, I'm going to go over it again. It's an acronym, Satan, of course. Silent assassination through adapting networks. The primary weapon system for scalable, automated, silent assassination, often leading to self-manipulative murder/suicide. The Satan program is designed to cause maximum destruction to the individual and community. It integrates mind viruses, torture programs, and algorithms to induce detrimental behaviors like alcoholism or suicide, to shorten life, plausibly giving dial-in lethality. It creates a voodoo doll subprogram for remote pain infliction. This automated system is classified as illegal by Geneva Conventions because it cannot recognize surrender. we did that one. Tammy. So Alice and Tammy go together. For some reason, it didn't order them correctly when I put them in here, but Alice, artificial linguistic internet computer entity, and Tammy work together. Tammy is an acronym, thought and memory interface. And it has a few different meanings for the acronym as well. An automated mind interrogation program, jokingly referred to as the female Borg commander, that works to make the target talk about specific subjects of knowledge. Tammy uses fill-in-the-blank and rhyming games combined with forced speech to probe memory and recognize evoked potentials associated with meaning, words, and events. It is one of the Chatterbot programs that aids in automating neurological behavioral control. Biocommunication war and synthetic telepathy, the art of communicating directly with neural circuitry of humans, enabling reading and influencing of the mind. Synthetic telepathy uses direct mind hack methods to spoof sounds and voices into a target's perception. The core capability allows for neural reprogramming or brainwashing and cloning of mental states. Alright guys, I'm back at some technical difficulties. I lost half of the video, so I have to do it again from this point. Gotta love it, but here we go. Let's get through it. Zombification and remote control, the process of inserting software or neural code that allows remote monitoring and control of a system or person without their knowledge. The U.S. Army projects called Zombie 1 through 5 focused on creating remote-controlled soldiers who blindly follow instructions. Modern technology sends instructions directly to the brain via neural encoded instructions. This is called bioamplification, creating sleeper agents and disposable assets worldwide. Buffer overflow. So this section here is newer. I did this section more recently for the images and definitions. The ones that we just read, those were made a couple months ago. Buffer overflow, information overloading. A tactic that overwhelms the target's short-term memory and logic checking systems by presenting lots of information too quickly. The attacker successfully seizes control of the subject's logic execution process, creating an unwinnable situation where the target defeats themselves. Crashing the operating system, error amplification. The deliberate destabilization of a host's mind or body to the point of cracking, becoming dysfunctional, or dying, results in the complete structural failure of the human biological machine, allowing for untraceable silent assassinations. A dictionary attack, linguistic Pavlovian conditioning. The malicious association of intense emotions, such as guilt or pain, with specific words to trigger seemingly irrational, conditioned responses. Language itself is weaponized, effectively redefining the host's neurological dictionary so that mundane words trigger debilitating physiological terror. Infinite looping, cognitive containment. This is another term to describe circular reasoning. A malicious payload that creates a mental prison by forcing the brain into a perpetual obsessive compulsive repetition of thoughts and words. Eradicates free will by artificially constraining the host's perception to a narrow, agonizing mental script. Memory probing, BAM, or bidirectional associative memory. The extraction of secrets by triggering uncontrollable cascades of associated memories using specific sensory inputs. Total annihilation of privacy. The brain's natural biological responses are forced to testify against the host without them ever speaking. Mind viruses. Psychotronic malware. Polymorphic autonomous modification programs designed to hack individual and population minds based on biological and nanotechnologies turns the global human population into involuntary incubators and petri dishes for weapons of mass psychological destruction. Negative associative conditioning and accelerated depatterning. Electronic methods used to forcibly erase or repress memories by altering metabolic cellular changes or attaching extreme pain to a thought. The absolute systematic overwrite of a human's personal history, allowing the state to edit the host's identity and trauma at will. Psychobombs. Human targets whose personalities have been intentionally destabilized, so they will snap and commit random acts of mass murder, transforms innocent civilians into disposable, heavily programmed weapons of domestic terror to manipulate media and legislation. Screen scraping, visual cortex theft. The technique of grabbing and reconstructing visual information directly from a hacked target's mind. Eliminates all digital security. An adversary can simply watch through the target's eyes or listen to their internal monologue to acquire access codes. Spoofing, synthetic telepathy, and voice of God weapons. The falsification of identity by forcing artificial sounds, voices, or hallucinations into a target's perception. Hijacks the victim's reality testing, exploiting their trust or religious beliefs to turn them into a compliant, remote-controlled asset. Trojan horses, medical Manchurians, or zombie, 1 through 5. Infiltrated agents operating on the mind network who are entirely unaware that their biology harbors a saboteur payload. Ensures that any human being can be weaponized as an insider threat or assassin without their knowledge or consent, rendering all security clearances obsolete. We've got 3 more. So packet switching. First, before I get into that, the Verizon Moloch conference, or the Moloch/Archime packet capture software. Let me go ahead and pull that up. It's been renamed to Archime with the nice owl logo. It is a network analysis and packet capture software. Runs in the background. So it would be technically called a daemon. We're going to get into that in a minute. And before I do that, I also want to show a simulation of it. Well, I'll do that after I read. Packet switching. Dismemberment protocol. A data transmission architecture that violently shreds human communication into uniform, fragmented packets and surrenders them to the network to be bounced between nodes without a dedicated continuous circuit. So a packet is how data information is sent or transferred over internet. It's a standard. It's like Swift finance standards. And so these standards can be updated or, watched over by someone. Maybe a group or a company or a think tank is responsible for packet standards. This is what has to be put into all packets, or we're going to impose a penalty. The eradication of context. Human expression, thought, and emotion are pulverized into microscopic standardized units optimized solely for machine ingestion. It strips communication of its soul, funneling it into a labyrinth where unfeeling routing algorithms dictate the survival and delivery of human intent. So let me show you what this would look like, because there is a nice kind of a simulation on the Wikipedia article. So I've got that here. One moment. Technical difficulties. Always gotta love it. Yep, there we go. Yes, so let that play through again. Basically, from host 1 to host 2, the data packets take different routes to the destination. So green, blue, red takes different routes to the destination. Now this algorithm here, that is what's between me and all of the viewers right now, because you know the video is uploaded as, you know, in ultimate form, packets from me to wherever I upload the video to. So you see, it's that in between. Whoever governs the algorithm can effectively, let's say, make money on the data, or worse. It's like an old telephone switchboard, like where they had to actually plug the phone calls in, but using background processes, or daemons. Next one is, we got this one and one more. Maxwell's Demon. I got either 1867 or 1871. So between 1867 and 1871 is a thought experiment on, let's see, thermodynamic heresy, a theoretical gatekeeper. It's a thought experiment conceived in 1871 that reverses entropy to extract work from chaos without expanding energy. It serves as the occult mathematical progenitor for all automated surveillance programs and the absolute blueprint for algorithmic possession. It proves that the elite view humanity as a chaotic mass of gas molecules, or CO2, that must be relentlessly sorted, categorized, and regulated by an invisible entity. It is the foundational architecture for reversing human freedom into a state of artificial, highly profitable tyranny. All of this to save the planet. And the last word, internet daemons. I have done a short video on this. I'm going to do another one in the future as part of the Cybernetics series. But it'll kind of have two parts, just because I went over these last three topics: packet switching, internet daemons, and Maxwell's demon. Also talked about how the framework by Father Chad Ripperger, who's a Catholic exorcist, but he's got a lot of education, and he's put together a framework for, you know, how do demons work. And it turns out they work through feedback loops, addiction, and vice. And so I'm going to do a comparison for, you know, why are these the same thing? That's to come in a later video, but there's already some information on the internet daemons and Maxwell's demon in the video. I'll put it in the description. Internet daemons, D-A-E-M-O-N-S. Invisible wardens, inhuman autonomous software programs embedded in every router, switch, and gateway of the global network. Operating far beneath human consciousness, they continuously inspect, drop, and route data packets to enforce flow control and manipulate reality, such as Moloch/Archime packet switching software. Automated digital subjugation. Humanity is actively governed by an invisible algorithmic swarm. These daemons are the supreme arbiters of communication, executing microsecond discrimination to ensure corporate dominance, while rendering the human user completely powerless to the machine's hidden logic, because these algorithms are the one real thing that it's very hard to, you know, to control or to affect change on. These algorithms have been around generally since the Cold War to actually to ensure that things would survive, you know, in the event of a nuclear catastrophe or whatever. So yeah, I will put the links to all of these in the description, the albums, and the videos, the playlist. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit the like button, follow on whatever platform you're on. Substack is the main platform that I would prefer people to follow me on, because if I lose that platform, I can keep, you know, people's emails and I can get back in touch with everybody. So, and if not Substack, either Odyssey or Rumble, because YouTube, there have been certain parts of this series I haven't been able to put onto YouTube because they want to, you know, strike everything for just the randomest reasons. You can't really appeal to anything but an internet daemon. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Questions, comments, thoughts, concerns in the comments. I will see you in the next episode. Take care, guys. Have a good night.